A Massachusetts woman who encouraged her boyfriend to kill himself in dozens of text messages and told him to get back in a truck filled with toxic gas was sentenced to prison on Thursday. Juvenile court judge Lawrence Moniz said that Michelle Carter will only have to serve 15 months behind bars and the rest of the 2.5 years sentence will be suspended. Once she is released, she will be on probation for 5 years. The judge granted a defense motion that would keep Carter out of jail until her appeals in Massachusetts courts are exhausted. Carter was convicted in June on a charge of involuntary manslaughter by Moniz, who said her final instruction to Conrad Roy III caused his death. Prior to the sentencing announcement, several family members of the victim provided heartbreaking statements that shared how much he is missed and called for Carter to be sentenced to the maximum prison time. The victim's father cried while reading his emotional statement to the judge. "We all felt he was heading in the right direction and over the worst of it," his father said of his son's depression. "He had such a bright future and Michelle Carter exploited my son's weaknesses. She used him as a pawn and she has not shown any remorse. Where was her humanity? How could she behave so viciously? I will never be an aunt to Conrad's children. He was my best friend," his sister, Camden, told the judge while on the stand. Carter was tried as a youthful offender, so the judge had several options for sentencing and could have committed her to a Department of Youth Services facility until she turns 21 on August 11th. The prosecution argued for a sentence of 7 to 12 years in prison, while her defense attorney, Joseph Cataldo, asked to give her 5 years of probation. The fact that Carter is still at that young age offers a greater promise of rehabilitation, Moniz said prior to issuing the sentence Thursday. "I have not found that her age or level of maturity or even her mental illness have any significant impact on her actions. She is a bright young lady, did well in school. And I am satisfied that she was mindful of the actions she delivered." Assistant District Attorney Mary Claire Flynn said, "Michelle Carter, her actions, killed Conrad Roy. She ended his life to better her own. She has been convicted of a very serious crime that merits serious punishment." Carter was tried as a youthful offender, so the judge had several options for sentencing. He could have committed her to a Department of Youth Services facility until she turns 21 on August 11th. He could have also combined a DYS commitment with an adult sentence, or gave her an adult sentence of anything from probation to the maximum 20-year term. Carter was 17 when the 18-year-old Roy was found dead of carbon monoxide poisoning in July 2014. In dozens of text messages, Carter urged Roy to follow through on his talk of taking his own life. "The time is right and you are ready. Just do it, babe," Carter wrote in a text the day he killed himself. The sensational trial was closely watched on social media, in part because of the insistent tone of Carter's text messages. "You can't think about it. You just have to do it. You said you were gonna do it. Like I don't get why you aren't," Carter wrote in one text. Carter's lawyer, Joseph Cataldo, argued that Roy was determined to kill himself and nothing Carter did could change that. He said Carter initially tried to talk Roy out of it and urged him to get professional help, but eventually went along with his plan. Cataldo also argued that Carter's words amounted to free speech protected by the First Amendment. In convicting Carter, the judge focused his ruling on Carter telling Roy to get back in after he climbed out of his truck as it was filling with carbon monoxide and told her he was afraid. The judge said those words constituted wanton and reckless conduct under the manslaughter statute. Carter and Roy met in Florida in 2012 while both were on vacation with their families. After that, they only met in person a handful of times. Their relationship consisted mainly of texting. Both teens struggled with depression. Carter had been treated for anorexia, and Roy had made earlier suicide attempts. Roy's aunt, Kim Bozzi, asked the judge to sentence Carter to the 20-year maximum in her victim impact statement. 20 years may seem extreme, but it is still 20 more than Conrad will ever have, her statement reads. "I believe she should be kept far away from society. take away the spotlight that she so desperately craves. Carter's father said his daughter made a tragic mistake and asked for probation and continued counseling.